Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to Podcast The Sequel, where we discuss the good, the bad, and the continued. I'm Marissa.
I'm Manira.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Ryan.
And with the recent release of Alien Romulus, today we're going to be continuing our dive into the Alien franchise. Today we're going to be talking about Alien Resurrection.
Woo!
So much excitement for it. But at first, we're going to talk about a little bit of Alien 3. In our last episode, we talked about we talked about Alien and Aliens. So this episode, we're just going to touch upon Alien 3 to bridge the connection, and then we're going to get into what seemingly is everybody's favorite, Alien Resurrection. I don't know if you guys want to take Alien 3 from here, if you guys remember anything at all.
Ooh, where to start with Alien 3? Yeah, it's a giant piece of dog shit. It's
oh my god! Alien. We're talking about Alien 3, Joseph, not Alien Resurrection.
And I thought I was the pessimist of this group.
So I'll start off. I think Alien 3 is the worst of the entire franchise.
Really?
Yeah, because it just where they took it from was completely different from Alien and Aliens. It was just a completely different movie. It's a prison planet, and there's just everything that we left off with Aliens is completely, essentially, kind of just wiped away in Aliens 3. Mm-hmm. And I forget the director. He's kind of a well-known name because somebody looked that up for me.
It's David Fincher.
David Fincher. Yeah, and I feel like he even hates the movie.
I feel he does. He's actually come out since the movie's release and said that he has disowned this movie.
Yeah, and he blamed the studio. So now we're getting to the part where studios start getting really involved in movies and trying to push the directors around to get the movie that they wanted. This is what, 92 or 91?
This is 92.
Okay, 92. So 92, we're in the 90s, and this is very much the era of studios usually ruining franchises. And it starts with Alien 3, and then we'll get to Resurrection. But Alien 3 is just, it's horrid, man. It's boring. It's just, there's not a lot going on. They try to do too much. It just sways so far away from the first two, which are classics, and it just buries that film. It just buries the franchise. It takes it somewhere where it didn't need to go. They tried something totally different that just did not work. I hate that film. I absolutely, it disgusts me, put it that way. It's a terrible film. I cannot watch it ever again, but I will at some point, just so I could just hate it again. I hate watching that movie every time. It's just not good. Absolutely hate that film. I could hate watch it anytime, any day. I shit on it every chance I get. It's just. But
you could still watch it.
I could watch it, but I will
probably hate watch it.
I will throw up every single second of that film. It's just that bad. Like Fincher's not that bad of a director for him to bring out that movie. It's studio driven, and I feel like there's a lot of franchises that we will get to at some point that are studio driven, and it's just a hot pile of dog shit. So I'll just leave it at that. If anybody wants to take it from there, I
do, only because I know this is David Fincher's first feature-length film. Mm-hmm. So he was actually a music video director up until this point, and I think because of his success with music videos, like he did names like Madonna.
Yeah.
So I mean, like at this point, I think they just saw that success and they were like, he could do it, right? But I think because of like the production, story like telling hell that this was in, that really kind of just put a damper on the story. So I honestly don't really blame him.
Oh no, I don't blame him at all. I blame the studio. I feel like that's why they hired him, so they could push him around.
Yeah,
like you're a first-time movie, so we're gonna make you do what we want you to do. So I absolutely blame the studio for this.
Because originally, like the story was like to continue with like the little family that was like Hicks, Ripley, and Newt. And then it got pushed to like, we want to do something on Earth, which I know has always been like tossed around the Alien franchise. Yeah. And then it got into like this weird, like now what Alien 3 is, which is like this prison planet, religious monkey kind of thing. And then I know Ripley only came back, Sigourney Weaver only came back as Ripley. And she's like, well, I'll come back, but you need to kill off the character. And then she also stated in her contract that she didn't want a lot of guns, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Sigourney Weaver is not a big fan of guns at all. Of gun. She does not like gun. But it really makes it interesting because there's a line in the movie where she's like talking to like the prison warden, I guess, or whatever you want to call him. And she's just like, you guys don't have any guns. Like you're like a high security prison. And it's so funny to see like her character like almost speak the opposite of like not liking guns and being like, what do you mean you don't have guns? Like, that's crazy. That's wild. And it's almost like this free for all prison of like, yeah, we're a prison, but like we don't have guns. And like I also feel like that's kind of never explained in the show or like in the movie is like what the prison is. And then there's like this religious like almost monk like cult that they have going on, and it's never really like fully explained. Like I think even at one point Ripley asks like what it is, and they kind of just go, yeah, we're just this thing.
It's just been like
it's just whatever
it's
it is. So I will agree that like Alien 3 is very like, it almost feels like incomplete.
Yeah.
Or just kind of scattered. Like even, I don't know if you guys ever actually watched the trailer at all for Alien 3, but it's also very like very fast paced, and it actually kind of reminds me of you two, because you guys always talk about that one trailer in Tropic Thunder, and it's like the one where it's Tobey Maguire and Robert Downey Jr. and it's got like the angelic like Enya music. So like that's like, imagine this trailer, right? And it's got like it's got like the angelic music, but it's like super fast paced and like people running and like, you know, just like it's just so jumpy, and you're just so confused because you're like, why is there this angelic music and like people are just running kind of everywhere? And then there's like another trailer where it's like, imagine on planet Earth like distant creatures, and you're just like, okay, so wait, are we on Earth or is this where are we?
Where's the setting at?
What's happening right now? And whereas like before with like Aliens, it was very like, okay, we're on a ship, or like we're headed home on another ship, or like we're going to a planet to see if like the colonists, you know, are still alive or whatever it is. It's very confused. I wouldn't say I hate Alien 3, and like we can kind of go into like touch a little bit more on it once I want to give you guys an opportunity to talk, but it's just, I wouldn't say I hate it that much because I think Alien Resurrection is worse.
Really? Okay.
I would say so, but we'll get in. We'll dive into that when we dive into that. But I want to give Ryan and Munir a chance to talk about their piece about Alien 3. But I just wanted to throw some little tidbits out there.
Yeah, well, I know that Munir really loved the series so far, right?
Amazing.
Yeah. How's 3 for you?
Honestly, for 3, if you take the beginning and the end and cut everything else out in the middle, I'm okay with it. Okay. I like the idea of like the continuation of seeing what happened to Ripley and Newt and Bishop and name I cannot remember.
Just call him Kyle Reese.
Sure.
Hicks. Just like after like they went into their cryo sleep, like what happens like after that, like where are they heading, where are they going, and then they end up on a prison warden monkey infested planet. And I don't really care for the middle and everything.
The middle, I know, I agree with Mooney. The middle's kind of just like pointless.
I just don't care for
it's just set up. It's set up for like your standard horror. Like these will be the bodies that will be killed. Like it's very you know. And I like that you brought up the whole Newt Hicks and
yeah,
Ripley
like I
thing,
just wanted to know what happens
because like immediately this one just like you're so involved with those characters by the end of Aliens and you're rooting for them, and then 3 just immediately is like, nope, we're gonna kill them off.
They're gone.
Like nope, they're done now.
There's no payoff. It just is what it is, and you're just like, oh.
I wish they would have kept like, I know like once again spoilers for both and
the
or
entire
all
franchise,
movies. But I mean like they kind of keep Bishop in a sense, like in the movie, like they kind of have like his half frame, if you will, and then Ripley kind of like brings him back to life just to ask him questions, but it's kind of pointless, useless.
It felt like they just kind of gave it to us just to be like, well, we kind of did this. I know like Neo and like Kicks aren't here, but kind of brought Bishop back, so like
liked him the most, right?
Well, he pretty much they pretty much brought him back to life for like exposition, right? So that she could be like, these are my questions, and he goes, these are the answers, and then just to kill him off.
Which is not, like you said, coming off of Aliens. That's not what you expected going to a third installment of the Alien franchise. Like, come on.
Yeah, and I didn't know about like the ending. Just to wrap it up real quick about the ending about Sigourney Weaver wanting to have her character killed off. I guess it kind of makes sense leading up to Alien Resurrection, but the beginning and the end, that's all I really cared about for the film. The middle, I was just indifferent about. I think I hated this one more than I hated Alien.
That's good.
There you go.
That's good.
That's
really
an
good.
Appropriate answer.
I hated it, so there you go, Joseph. There's a movie I hate more than Alien.
Like Joseph was
a little redemption, a little, just a little bit.
Tiny clap.
Tiny clap. Because
that's honestly all I have to say for Alien. Is just Alien 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pass it off to you, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say the things that I like about the movie.
Okay.
I like Benedict from Last Action Hero. I forget what that actor's name is.
Damn, somebody pulled that up.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, that was my tidbit for Mooney. The doctor. He's actually the doctor. He's Tywin Lannister.
Yeah.
His name is Charles Dance.
There you go.
Yeah, very well-known actor. I actually really like him, but for some reason, ever since Game of Thrones, all I see is Tywin Lannister.
Oh, 100%.
He
Yeah.
he is the doctor on the prison, and he is also Ripley's love interest
Yes.
because they sleep together at some point during the movie.
That's how we got them.
But he's really like the only other character besides Ripley that you're just like, I kind of care about you. So yeah, so Charles Dance, really big fan of him. Tywin Lannister. Every time I see him in anything, I just see Tywin Lannister. But I still think he's a great addition. He's probably one of the only characters that you really kind of feel for, other than obviously Ripley, because this planet is just a big old thing of meat just to be killed off. So with that, I think, do we want to get into ratings?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Mooney, since you have done us so proud with your ratings of the Alien franchise so far, do you want to take this one first?
So I actually hated this movie a lot more than I hated Alien. So there you go, Joseph. This is not my least favorite. Alien was not my least favorite movie in the franchise. I'd probably give it like a 1.5 out of 5 poppies.
You should give Alien a bonus point because this
all right,
one was so bad.
we'll bump Alien to like a 2.25, 2.25.
Fuck, you're higher. Okay. Fine.
No, I was at 2.
Okay.
Earlier, 2.25.
Check tape on that, guys.
Yeah, check the tape.
We'll leave her be.
Yeah.
But it just honestly was just boring to me. It just wasn't worth it. But I'll send it to you, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it negative poppies out of 5. That's the first you'll ever see.
Burn popcorn.
It's just kettle corn. It's not even
Kettle corn.
Kettle corn.
I
Kettle
I
corn's
love
delicious.
kettle corn.
It's
Go
there,
like
dude.
cheese popcorn. That's the worst.
It's. Oh, I like.
How about
cheese
just burnt popcorn?
Just burnt pop. It's just the negative version of a poppy. Just the black and white poppy, just burnt.
Is it
that's,
emo
that's
poppy?
what it is. It's
unsalted.
It could be. It's unsalted. It's
Salted,
terrible.
Smart corn.
It's somebody that walks in there that works at the theater that's eating the popcorn off the seat. Just, that's what it is to me. That's how much I despise this movie. But go for it.
Yeah. I'll give it a 2, just because there was iconic shots in it and things like that. Things that are very memorable.
Yeah.
The shot of her falling into the lava fire, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, 2.
Hot lava.
Hot lava. She Terminator 2'd herself.
Very fitting.
Marissa?
Like, what are you guys?
Terminator 2. Judgment Day.
No, I know, but you guys did it like simultaneously, and I thought you were like both giving like the thumbs up of like doing a great job. I initially wanted to give this a 2.5, and then I was going back and forth based on your guys' responses, which I shouldn't do. I should just give what I want to give it. I think it still carries some pieces of the first two. Obviously Ripley, I think that, her going out in the way that she did is very of character. So I think I'm going to stick at my 2.5.
There we go.
Okay.
Respectable.
Yeah, it's my smart popcorn. It's healthy for you. It's got a little bit of salt, but not enough.
Does it
It's
have fake butter?
It's
I
enough
can't believe it's
it's
not
enough
butter.
to like where if your doctor's worried about your sodium, you're probably good with this popcorn.
That's a lot of sodium. Still dog shit.
So with that, we're gonna get into our main attraction of the evening, which is Alien Resurrection. So spoilers, if you haven't seen either Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection, at the end of Alien 3, Ripley does go out. She takes herself out because she has an alien embryo inside her, and she does not want it to grow and kill others. So she takes her own life. So in Resurrection, it is fast forward 200 years since then, and we are now with scientists that are trying to clone Ripley so that they can bring back her DNA, which has the alien DNA as well, so that they can retrieve the alien, so that they can train them, study them, everything like that. So that's kind of where we're at plot-wise. This was made in 1997. Director is Joss Whedon. So
No,
that.
Oh, he's the writer.
The writer.
The writer.
The director was the guy who did MMML.
Oh, I thought he did
Amelia,
both.
something
I
like
thought
that.
he wrote and directed.
No, he
No,
just
no,
wrote
he
it.
just wrote it.
He just wrote it.
Oh, I thought he wrote.
He
and
bailed
directed.
on
Oh, that's
directing.
my bad. Oh, that's right. He was the French. Yeah, the French
French
director.
dude, yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Jean-Pierre.
My bad.
It
Well, that
shows,
makes
and we'll get into
so
that, 'cause
that makes so much more sense now with the lines that happened out of there. Sorry, correction. Joss Whedon was the writer.
Guys stank all over it.
I like
That's
that she blew it up. I just see Dan O'Bannon, which is just I always focus on that. But anyway, so this thing is filled with Joss Whedon liners, isms in general. Just
You know that
campy.
guy, the guy that made the adventure movies.
Yeah, the one that did Buffy and Firefly. I like both of those, but this is just not where Alien should have gone. So I'm gonna let you guys give your thoughts, and we'll take it around town.
I'm gonna save mine for the end. You guys go first.
Okay. I was really excited when this movie came out. I saw that shit in theaters. I was pumped. I was like, new Alien. It's going to be sick. And then I watched it, and I was like, it was a movie. It was a movie. And now that I'm watching it as an adult, it's a movie. It's a movie, all right. I definitely have gripes with it. A lot of it has to do with things and inconsistencies that don't make any fucking sense. For one, the Christie character with his marksmanship. Oh, man. You can shoot the ceiling, boop, 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 right into the guy's helmet. After
Makes no
ricocheting.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that ceiling made out of? Am I right? Vibranium?
Vibranium. Better be
Huh?
like.
It's probably made from the Acme Academy
Probably.
or the Roadrunner or the what is it the
Beep, beep.
yeah
Beep, beep.
or,
Yeah,
no
Acme.
the what is it? He's not a Roadrunner. He's chasing the Roadrunner.
Coyote.
The
Coyote.
coyote,
Oh, yeah.
is getting all of his stuff.
And then when they pop up in that egg chamber after they go through that
You-
12 minutes of swimming.
You mean that great, exquisite trap that the aliens
Yep.
put together in
Yeah,
like
they-
5 minutes?
They knew, like, yeah, no, and then they'll come up here and they're just in time for the eggs to open up, pop on your face. And he shoots those 2 grenades at the ceiling. But let's backtrack. A few moments earlier, Ron Perlman shoots his grenade launcher underwater, and it goes about 2 miles an hour right at an alien's face. Explosion on impact. But then it hits that ceiling again, and it's rubber now, and it bounces right off into those 2 eggs. And
Like
boop,
perfect
boop.
shot.
Perfect shot.
Yeah, perfect.
Slow
Fucking
motion.
Exquisite. In slow motion, too.
motion.
Like, just slowing it down so we go like this. I don't understand what's happening right now.
It's just,
It didn't just blow the whole room up,
you would think, but no.
but I digress.
I will say with that swimming scene though, as a pro to this movie, they actually were trained on how to hold their breath and actually do that scene themselves. So like there's no CGI, there's no like it's them really like holding their breath and doing that swimming scene. So I mean like if we want to be kind to them and give them a pro.
I'll give them that, but I feel like I saw like behind the scenes stuff, and there were still people there with like oxygen.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
obviously you can't hold your. I mean like how
well,
long
yeah,
did
yeah.
it take this
Yeah.
film that scene? It's not one
Yeah.
take, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean
obviously,
I will give them at least like the benefit of they were trying to hold their breath
Practically,
and
yeah.
swim and do it practically.
The one practical thing they chose to do.
Yeah.
I have one thing to add to your point too. So I looked at a fun fact of the movie, and one of the fun facts was the whole that they spent time like learning how to dive and everything. So Winona Ryder is deadly terrified of the water, and that was one of the things that she had like a little bit hesitant towards filming the scene where she had an experience where she almost drowned as a child, so she was terrified to film like the underwater scene, and she got over her fear. And then what set her back is that Ron Perlman almost drowned filming the water scene. He hit his head on a sprinkler and almost drowned in the film. So
And we would have
There's that.
never gotten him as Hellboy. And
You're
I would've been
welcome.
He
Very
almost
upset.
drowned it.
he almost drowned it.
Almost drowned it. Then there was no more Sons of Anarchy.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a great show. Great show.
But that's my fun
I think
little
it's a great
tidbit.
show.
That's a fun little tidbit.
No.
Joseph?
You.
Oh, yeah, tell us what you think.
It's
Terrifying.
the worst aliens ever looked.
You said that about 3.
No, it's
No,
this,
how'd
I
that-
never said that. I never said that.
It's like
This is the worst they've ever
You said
looked.
that
The
you said Alien Three was
CGI of
bad.
them in the water, especially horrid. When it's dodging the bullets,
Oh my
horrid.
God, dude.
It's really bad, man. It's 97, so this is around Batman and Robin age, where studios are just throwing shit on the wall and hoping it sticks, just trying to make a
He's just
few
mad.
bucks.
He's just mad about Batman and Robin.
The bat nipples.
And that's the era where they're just like, we just want to make bucks. We don't care about how we pulled this off. And this is supposed to be the movie because they were so upset with how 3 did. They're trying to go back to what made 1 and 2 good, and they did not hit the mark at all. The writing is awful. The dialogue's awful. They made the aliens look weak to me, especially in the beginning when they have them like locked up. I don't understand how these scientists who are studying them don't understand that there's acid when they hit each other. And some of the shots too, the zooming in and out, it's horrid. It's horrid directing, horrid cinematography. But my favorite scene, that basketball scene with Ripley though.
Oh my god!
Boom shakalaka, dude. She is on
literally wrote
fire.
that down.
From
Literally
down.
wrote that down.
That is the only redeeming quality of this film is the basketball scene. Like
The basketball scene.
She is a baller, dude. And there's that other scene too where when they find all the other experiments, and there's the other Ripley that's on that slab that's just like, please take me out of my misery. You would think she's already suffering enough. Just a bullet to the head would have sufficed.
No,
let's burn her alive and just burn everything in there. And I'm like, this poor creature just had to burn to death.
It just reminds me of like, can we pull that clip from like The Simpsons where it's like the half frog prince where he's like,
excuse me. That's exactly what it is. And like, and this is, I feel like that's very much what 97 action movies were at that time. It's horrid, man. I'm not a big Winona Ryder fan. Never have been. So
I would agree with you.
She's very indifferent to me in this
Disagree.
film. Ripley, for whatever reason, wants to just do her thing. Joss Whedon writing. But yeah, it's just a movie. It's a film that was made, and I feel like again the studio got very much involved, and they just butchered it. If they were trying to redeem 3, they totally did not.
No, they shit the bed on that.
They
one.
shit the bed again, and it's just like it's one of those things where I always go back and you look at franchises like, do you wish they kind of just ended where they like with the second one with Aliens?
Yeah,
you kind of just hope like just cut it off there. Do we really
they need to make money?
Yeah, and that's very studio driven shit that ruins franchises, and I feel like every franchise has kind of dealt with that. And yeah, I just hate it. But the basketball scene though, if you have not seen it, you want to see some ballers, go check that out.
That's my
Joseph,
tidbit.
you don't like Winona Ryder? You don't like her fashion sense?
I mean, if she was scared of the ocean, swimming, no wonder she started stealing.
I was gonna say that was my tidbit for this movie was the basketball.
The basketball,
basketball
dude.
Is that
is
she
iconic. Oh,
trained with a basketball tutor to make that shot, and then the rumor was that she did it on the first take, which apparently is not
that's
true.
not true. Yeah.
And it took countless takes, at one after another, her just breaking it. And then the director was just like, you know what, I'll give you one more, and then we're going to go to more CGI, or we'll just drop a ball from the top. And she made it in the next shot. And Ron Perlman almost broke character because it was like, oh shit, he fucking finally did it.
And it is 97. It's like the Jordan era. I feel like that's why they just threw in a basketball scene to be like, the common people will love this part.
The 90s were all about basketball, sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's why they're just like, we're going to throw this in there.
47 Jordans on it.
Yeah, dude. That would have been made a better movie, dude.
The Jordan 3000.
The Jordan 3000.
I will say this is another pro. I'm going to try to throw in as many pros as I can for this movie. Another pro that I really enjoy about this movie, though, is that they brought back the whole robot situation.
Yes.
That whole kind of tidbit in Alien, which if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler, Winona Ryder is the robot, and I feel almost like you can kind of tell.
Yes.
Just because the whole movie, she's very almost robotic. Like her and Sigourney Weaver are very robotic, and like Sigourney Weaver, you're kind of told that she's a clone, so like she's only a mixture of Ripley's DNA and memories and everything like that.
She wakes up in a giant condom.
Which is super. Which I mean, yeah, that's full of just different imagery. But Winona Ryder, she's just so like whiny, and I don't know if that's supposed to be that way because you like beforehand you had two like very strong, I guess, robotic characters. Like you had Bishop and you had Ash, which like regardless if they were good or bad, like you couldn't tell if they were robots. They weren't really weird. They were just kind of like doing their job.
They're sufficient.
They were part of the crew. Yeah, they were doing what they were supposed to do, whether it was by the company or by the crew kind of thing. And this one's just kind of she's just so whiny and like almost useless. Like even to the point where like she goes to kill Ripley in the cell thinking that the embryo is inside her still, and then she like kind of doesn't really do it.
Yeah.
Like
oh,
it's just kind of
matter.
well,
She adds
yeah,
no
it doesn't
value.
Yeah, like she's just not.
Other than being Winona Ryder, that's all she is in this film.
She's just she's just a name. It's not. It doesn't really like.
Make,
and even Ron Perlman is like the opposite. Like if you want to look at it emotion wise, like he's just kind of like this angry brute, like who kind of sexualizes Ripley at one point in the basketball scene.
Yeah.
Like, which is kind of strange and
ball. That's what.
it's like the writing in this movie is just so misplaced. It's so like out of this world, for lack of a better term. It's I don't know. It's enjoyable though. Like there's like still like lines that are in there. There's like these campy deaths that happen that are almost like just so silly. And they're very memorable. Like there's one where like the guy has an alien that's going to come out of him and it bursts through the other guy's like head or whatever. And then you've got, just like the one where the one guy's ripped in half, but then the alien comes to sniff around and then Sigourney Weaver or Ripley comes out and like you just see the gun and it shoots it in its face and then she like muscles her way up there.
And
and
in the
she's
immediate scene, they question Ripley if she's with them or with the aliens. I'm like, she
It's
just
just
blasted
like-
one's head off. Like, what do
It's
you
just
want her to do?
Yeah, it's so, it's
Did the
just,
job, man.
Who wrote
it's very,
this?
Yeah, we know who wrote it. It's just it's extremely campy, very like cartoony. Like you almost like at one point you want to hear like the Scooby Doo like like take off of like
Bongos?
the characters like it's just like very it's very weird, very uncomfortable. Brad Dourif as the scientist is very uncomfortable with like the kissing of the window. It's just so like I feel very like unsure of where they're going with this movie. Like
Very French.
and you take it from
Very
you take it from like Alien, right, which was like dark, foreboding, serious, mysterious, like unsure, like terrifying. You weren't sure what was going to come out. You weren't sure what's going to happen to like this. All right, now we have this mucus baby that's coming to attack us.
Yeah.
Like
I got
very
notes on that too.
yeah, I was gonna say I was kind of saving the best for last with that
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
but we can talk about the mucus baby alien that comes
That scene
from
is
Ripley and the
it's
Queen.
just so ridiculous, the idea of a pregnant alien and where it pans over the top and just a big belly.
Yeah.
Just in literally in labor.
So strange.
It's just so strange
So
to me.
bad. Did you give?
I have 5 words for this
Okay.
movie.
Oh yeah.
I fucking hated this film.
All right.
I have more, but honestly, this one
Are we allowed to cuss?
we've all cussed enough, all of them already.
I know, but I just
You haven't. We all have at this
I
point.
wasn't sure.
Say what you want.
We're not monetized.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Sick.
You would think after Aliens 3 they would try to redeem themselves.
They were
somehow,
trying. That's the
some
sad
ways.
part.
This was garbage.
That was the.
This
but that was the goal.
I know I said Aliens 3 was the worst of the franchise. This one takes the cake of being the worst fucking film in this entire franchise that I have seen so far. I feel like it was just, it lacked suspense. It lacked the horror elements. The acting was just garbage. I feel like it didn't even fit into the franchise. It was just unnecessary. The directing was just interesting. I'll leave it at that. And then I agree with your point. This movie made me very uncomfortable. Certain scenes made me uncomfortable. The whole face touching between Winona Ryder and Ripley's character, and then Ripley with the white alien, just like the face touching, everything was like, I'm just very uncomfortable. I don't want to watch this anymore. I know when I was watching it, I had to like look away during the like weird face touching. I was like, I'm good. I'm just very uncomfortable, just like squirming in my seat. I was just like, it's just not for me. I was just like, this is awful. Why am I watching this? This is just, ugh. I have nothing else to say about this movie,
That's
but just,
fair.
ugh.
It just seemed very sticky.
Yeah, everything was
Yeah.
very gooey.
Yeah.
Everything
reminded
had
me of,
I
like,
feel
a
like
Nick-
to be fair, I feel like it was just the little like baby alien mucus embryo, whatever that
that will
thing
haunt
was.
me in my nightmares.
Well,
tonight.
that and like the weird like body shot we got of it, I was just like, what am I looking at? Like, there's like this weird belly. Like, I don't know. Is it a baby? And like, I know me and Joseph make fun of like it's like little like
Well,
eyes.
Yeah, the puppy eyes.
Like the little like
hollow
sad,
puppy eyes
just
are
like these
like,
sad
yeah.
little like mommy
Yeah.
eyes. I don't don't know what to do.
Like
with
they
that.
wanted us to feel sympathy for this disgusting creature
It's
because
so
of these eyes.
well,
They're
and
just
it's
like,
so
like
weird
sad.
because like I do feel sympathy, but not from the creature. I feel sympathy for like Ripley because when like as a like little point to kill off the alien, like Ripley's DNA is kind of infused with the alien DNA, so her blood is acid blood essentially. So there's a point at the end of the movie where like she flicks her blood onto the window, and then that opens up a hole, right? And then the baby essentially gets sucked into the hole, and it's like inside out kind of comes out, and that's what kills it. But it like looks at Sigourney Weaver like, mommy, like save me. And like I feel for Sigourney Weaver because I've like, you know, she like her acting is so, or like her acting is so good that you're just like, I believe that
the
she's
highlight.
really like I believe that like she is like a mother that like pines for her child. But like this alien baby thing, like it's
She even
so,
apologizes. She's like, I'm sorry. Well, it's happening.
Which
You're
I know, like it's torn because you get that like maternal feeling that you got with her in the Aliens with Newt, and then to go back to Aliens as well. Like that's my only kind of big contingency with Aliens is like when she has the queen alien sucked through that door, like how is she able to hang on by one arm, but in this one like one little crack in the window sucked through an entire alien. Like I don't, it's a little
continuously like issue.
Like it's a little weird.
Like nobody went back to check that and be like, well, what if we did this? Well, we'll just make this little adjustment. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little out of place. For me.
Yeah, it's putrid. It's very bad. But I do feel like there are those films that are so bad that you can still watch. Like it's funny bad. It's like it's almost an enjoyable shit movie that you could just kind of sit there and like, this is terrible, but I can still sit here and watch it and just kind of laugh at it. Whereas like Aliens 3, I don't have it. I don't have that feeling with that. I'm just sitting there and I'm just bored and I'm just like, this is awful. But the Alien Resurrection, I'm like, this is just dumb. Like it's just dumb stuff happening. And like that kind of gives a little bit more edge for me because I'm just like, there's no way they ever thought this was going to be good.
Yeah.
And if anybody thought it was, then holy cow, like they're just insane.
Can I just share with you guys my favorite death in the whole movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my favorite is General Perez. He's the guy that's like running the whole shebang, and he's basically just kind of like in this little hallway area, and just like a cat.
For those listening, our cat is whipping Marissa in the face with his tail.
He wants to be a part of the podcast
Now
so
you know
bad.
how Joseph feels.
He knows that Jonesy was a big main character in the first movie, and he's trying to live up to that. So anyway, so General Perez is the guy running the ship, and there's a scene where basically there's an alien behind him and just shoots him right in the back of the head, and he's like just looking like dead at the camera, and he does this kind of little like pan back to his head, and he pulls out like a piece of brain and then looks back at the camera like, well, I guess I'm dead now, and then he's done. And, it's just it's very campy, it's very cartoony, very Scooby-Doo, very Joss Whedon. It's just very it's very Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like Scooby Gang.
His style of writing, very much so.
So, I have 2 questions for you guys. More on the ideas of like ethics and morals. So the first question I have for you guys is, can one preserve their humanity after being cloned a couple of times? Idea playing off of the character of like Ripley and how she was cloned. Is it 8 times in this movie?
Yeah, she's Ripley 8.
She's Ripley 8. So how do you think she holds on to the ideas and the characteristics and the personality of who Ripley was in Alien and Aliens 2? Thoughts? Anyone?
Well, I mean, they definitely try to clone her a little bit, and I know that they talk in the movie about how her DNA and the alien's DNA kind of morphed together. There's even a scene at the end of the movie where I think it's Ron Perlman's character who goes like, Ripley's back, we got Ripley, and she kind of like zones in more on like her Ripley in action kind of character where she's like, let's get us off, like basically let's get us off this boat and get us home kind of mentality. So I don't know, I feel like Sigourney Weaver definitely is playing it more as like I almost feel like she's more robotic than Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
I mean, she's definitely not Ripley, but I think that's the point, is that she's not Ripley. She's a clone. She just has like certain memories and DNA of Ripley that make her look like her, and kind of sound like her in a sense. But it's kind of touch and go, more touch and go towards the end. But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It's very much like there's moments where she'll act like Ripley, but then there's moments it's really not. So it's you can't fully commit to that being that same character. And that's where like Marissa said it perfectly. Like you can't really buy into it all the time because it's not. You know, like how many times have they cloned her? 8 times, right? So at some point you have to be like, okay, you have to like kind of cut that version of Ripley out. You might see moments of it, but it's never going to be that in this film.
I think that's very much the movie, though.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's saying it's an alien movie, but is it really, or is it more just a rip of a future? So I mean, like, isn't this movie technically then a clone of itself?
Yeah, it's like a bad copy of the first two.
And that's the whole idea that I had in my head, like thinking when I was watching. I was like, this doesn't feel like an alien movie. It feels like it's not necessarily like artificial intelligence with like robots and everything, but more just like a ripoff of like the Alien movies. Like in my head,
aliens.
Yeah, in my head, the way I saw it is, you know how you have like the Not So Scary movie, or like those like ripoff of like popular movie franchise. That's how I thought Alien Resurrection was.
Yeah, disaster movie.
Yeah, they put this like in scary movies, like 1 or 2. I was like, all right, I'm like, sure.
What about you, Ryan? What do you think?
I thought that if you get cloned, you don't keep your memories. I feel like that was kind of a half-ass.
But they do in this movie.
Yeah, that was a half-ass.
Well, parts of Ripley's memory are kept throughout.
We'll write that part off of just like, we wrote ourselves into a corner a little bit, but we'll fix it.
Well, yeah, and the lore isn't, like, it kind of doesn't really continue much of what's happening story-wise, and I think that was, like, one of my other pros to this movie was that, and I think we talked about it in the last episode with the intelligence of the aliens, where, like, this one you kind of see them, like, almost outsmart us in a way.
Yeah.
Or like not us, but like humanity, in the sense where they're in the cage, right? And there's like multiples of them, and like, you know, Brad Dourif and the scientists are all looking at them, and the 2 of them decide to kill the other alien so that the acid blood will seep through and then they can escape, right? So like obviously they know kind of more what's going on, and it's kind of like a fuck you to Brad Dourif's, you know, character. So I mean, I definitely think that they kind of show a little bit more of like the intelligence of the alien a little bit, which is slightly a pro. But I think in terms of like the storyline with Ripley and where they came from and everything, it's definitely like a clone, a soft shell of itself, if you will.
Yeah. Agreed. So my final question to you guys: thoughts on cloning?
Did you give yours? No.
Oh no, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did.
It's like it's the Del Taco of the alien movies.
So the final one is: what are your thoughts on cloning? Do you think it's moral or ethically correct to clone people?
Well, you know, during the Clone Wars.
And then the way I thought about this is when I was watching the film, they kind of treat clones as like disposable entities, if you will, where if you don't get what you want, kill it, let's clone it again. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on cloning? I'm going to go to you, Ryan.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, because, when you... no, it's not. It's not ethical, probably. Okay. I'm going to go with that. But I feel like there's, like, companies that try to, like, clone pets and stuff right now. Like, you send in a little bit of hair. But you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that dog back or that cat. It's just going to look like a cat or a dog.
Ain't your dog.
Ain't your dog.
What was that sheep that they cloned? Wasn't that sheep that they cloned? Back in, like...
Yeah, they did.
Did it have 2 heads?
Did it?
I don't.
I will let you guys know.
I think it did.
I just remember it was a sheep or like a little baby.
Yeah, I think no matter what, and I don't think we're there yet technologically.
Dolly the sheep.
Dolly the sheep.
How many heads does that thing have?
I thought it just had one.
One head.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it just had one.
What about V1, V2,
V2?
When it was an inside-out sheep?
I only believe in cloning if it comes from Camino. Order 66. You know, no, I don't believe. I don't think you could. You can't get when somebody's gone, they're gone. Like, you can't get that person back. Like, it's not the soul and all that. I can go into that in a different time, but no.
Marissa?
I feel like cloning was something that was very much like a thing back in the 90s and early 2000s. So I feel like in terms of like the timing, it's very significant. But nowadays, I feel like we're just so involved with like technology. It's not necessarily about like recreating. It's more kind of like future creation. I haven't honestly, besides this movie and back then, I haven't even thought about cloning forever.
No, especially with like AI now, I feel like it's all mimicking.
Yeah.
And that
cloning.
honestly, it's funny that you brought that up again, because I was thinking that as we were talking about this movie and it being a clone, like it seems like you just, if an AI generator was like, give me 5 words to make a movie, and you were like alien, like basketball, like just like all of these things, like it would basically
Mucus.
spit it would spit
Josh
out.
Whedon has used ChatGPT.
Yeah, all you gotta do,
100%.
yeah, just put like Firefly,
Buffy,
like Buffy, just like all of the things.
Yeah.
Make it alien.
Just put like Mucus, Ripley,
girl from Beetlejuice.
yeah,
throw it
just
in there.
whiny basketball in one AI generator, and you're just
Michael
like,
Jordan. Well, there you go. Alien Resurrection.
yeah.
This was just a shit film.
But yeah, and I think the whole like term of Alien Resurrection is very much like they were trying to revive and resurrect the franchise.
I mean, the name gave it away. They're trying to resurrect it. Exactly.
And and they also resurrected Ripley's character. But I feel like all this did was just kill everything that
that made it so successful.
Yeah. So with that, rating wise, I'm gonna give this a 1.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a solid 0.5 out of 5 copies.
Okay.
0.5.
I can't give it a 0 yet.
I'll give it a 1 out of 5, just because again, it's bad watch, but it's a funny, terrible watch.
I give it a 2.
Okay.
Just leave it at 2. It's just a 2.
Two.
Because it was like, it's another one of those like, popcorn flicks. You just
Yeah.
watch it. Is it good? No. Is it?
But if it was on Sci-Fi Channel on a Saturday morning,
I'd be like, oh shit,
I watched it on UPN the first time.
There you go.
I
remember UPN, dude.
UPN,
Does
dude.
UPN still exist?
No.
For someone who does not
No,
know
I think it's
cable?
called My 13 or some shit.
yeah, I was like,
that.
we don't even have cable, so I mean, I don't honestly know, but I do remember always watching like My Wife and Kids, Girlfriends, all of those great shows. Great shows. Yeah. So. Yeah, we all gave our ratings, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we're good.
That's it, yeah.
So highly recommend you watching. I was gonna say the Alien franchise, but you guys laughed, so now I don't know. But we always recommend watching these films, especially Alien franchise and others. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week with another episode. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate your time with us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.
Now I gotta go pee.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening. Until next time, the podcast, a show so sublime. Marissa, Mooney, Joseph, and Ryan signing off with glee. Join us next episode for more sequel revelry.